Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, tuning into our online affiliates around the world, we're glad you all could be with us as well. As we are kicking off a new year, we'd love to be able to help you guys to be able to not only just stay inspired, but also energized as you're going throughout your year. So we're excited to welcome back our next guest. I should let our audience know. I did ask her if she's going to be nice to me. She told me she was leaving nice in 2023. So you guys already know who I'm talking about. Award-winning master event planner, entrepreneur, and author Melissa Banks is back with us. She's going to talk to us about her plans for 2024, but what she's leaving in 2023 other than being nice, and what you all can look forward to from her. She has some exciting projects coming up this year as well. So, Mom, I want you to be on notice. You know, your friend that you think is so nice, she's already said she's not being nice this year, but Melissa, welcome back to the broadcast.
No, you did open up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a private conversation? Was that not supposed to be shared? I should have asked that question.
Oh my God, Cyrus Webb, it's awesome to be here today. I'm excited to, as always.
Well, look, it is it is always excited, to speak with you as well, Melissa. And I like I told you, I try to be nice every day. I know everyone can't do that, but all jokes aside, though, Melissa, excited to have you back on with us. I know a lot of great things are happening for you this year. You have a lot of new things you're putting on your plate. But I want to talk about, first of all, your overall attitude about here we are now starting a brand new year. How do you feel about yourself and your brand going into this year?
I am super excited. I am over the moon. You know, when you're starting something that's totally brand new, and we're doing some things that we've never done, it's going to be a really exciting year. Our business is transforming, doing some transitioning. So there's that fear component because anytime you do something new, you kind of have that fear component. But it's more excitement and walking and moving while in that fear. So I'm super excited about 2024. It's going to be an amazing, amazing year for our brand and for me myself. So I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to give you a hard time, Melissa, and it's warranted because you give me a hard time. But I'm always excited to see the new things that you've done, and it's been so great for me to see over the past 3-4 years how you've been able to grow. It was funny when I was prepping for your segment this morning. One of the things I came across is a speech that you gave as part of your annual event, Imagine the Possibilities. I was watching that this morning, and I thought about, that you have not only, of course, made it your mission to keep being better yourself, but you also have been able to do, as I alluded to in my introduction, to be able to inspire others. So how does that feel, to be able to share what you're going through and what you're doing, but also to pour into others to encourage them on their own journey?
It feels really amazing, Cyrus. I have to be honest. The core of every single thing that I do, every single new product or service that my brand introduces, the guts, the purpose is to inspire others to be more, to want more, and to work hard to create the life that they want, which has always been what's been inside of me. I've just been watching God bring that out over the last 3 or 4 years where I can publicly inspire and push someone else to do. And that's the biggest accolade that I personally can receive when I hear from someone that I inspired by my words or by my actions too, because we have to realize that when we are inspiring and encouraging people, they're also watching how you're living your own life. Encouraging to me and super exciting to see God move in so many ways and so many lives, using me as a tool to inspire others.
Yeah, and he definitely has been able to do that, Melissa, which has been great to see, too. So I want to go back to how a lot of people got to know you, because it's interesting being able to watch not only your evolution, but also your additions as well, because a lot of people know you, as I mentioned, as a master event planner, now an award-winning master event planner. They know you, of course, as an entrepreneur. They know you as a motivational speaker. What has it been like for you to know that you can wear these different hats and be able to be different things for different people? Because I think one of the big things I've heard, and I've really tried to already this year caution people about, is don't feel like you have to put yourself in a box. How does it feel to know that you can kind of be free in each one of these places and be able to fulfill your role in each one?
You know, isn't it amazing once you realize that you don't have to stay in this little box because you started your journey, your entrepreneurial journey in this box, you don't have to just stay there. And once you realize that and you open yourself up to receive everything that's for you, doors begin to open and you begin to see what's inside. But if you just keep yourself in that nice little comfort zone where you started, and I'm here to tell you I was there, and I was there for a really, really long time. And if I can encourage anybody, don't stay there for a really long time. What it does is put your dreams and everything that you have inside that can't come out, it puts it on hold, because if you keep yourself in that box, then that's where you're going to stay. And it's just making up your mind that I'm going to open up, I'm going to receive what God has for me, I'm going to just go. And once you step beyond that comfort zone, you can step beyond that box. That's what happened to me. You know, I was happy as a designer and a master event planner, and I didn't know there was more until I was willing to step outside and open the door for the more, and the more I did, the more opportunities that came my way to see what was already inside.
Yeah. Such an amazing thing to think about. So let's talk about moving forward then, because as I mentioned, you have a lot of things you're going to be doing this year outside of giving me a hard time, Melissa. You actually have work that you're going to be doing with your business. I want to talk about Dream by Design, because Dream by Design itself, if you just talk about that one thing, those three words, Dream by Design, they have now become so much. You have the dream boxes you've been able to create. You have, your own show that you've been able to produce. There's so many things you've kind of built under that umbrella. Did you know when you started Dream by Design or came up with that it would be able to be so much, including now being 3 books?
You know what? I love this question. I'm so glad you asked this question, because I was really, just as I was planning my year, thinking about my year, I went back to how Dream by Design, those words came to be. And at that time, I really thought it was just for that one product. We were talking about the podcast, actually. That's what we were talking about, and what would we call it? And Dream by Design was just, in my mind, supposed to be the name of the podcast. But thank God Almighty, He can dream for us way bigger than we can dream for ourselves. And that goes to show that what we see is not the big picture. What we see is just where we are at the moment, because that's all I could see. But look at it now. It is definitely the brand, which I had no idea what that was, that would be evolving in the way that it does. And just when I those words, Cyrus, I get excited. When I see or speak Dream by Design, I feel those words. Those words are part of me, and that's why it's such a big brand. It's the books. And this year there are new things coming with that title as well. So it's all been building to where we are now. But I didn't see that 3 years ago, I think, when Dream by Design first came about.
Wow. Amazing. And the thing about that, Melissa, is it's become so many things for so many people. And again, you continue to expand. As I mentioned, you have Imagine the Possibilities, the virtual conference is going to be in its 3rd year this year. Then you have other things you've been able to add, as well as new additions to your business. So that's what we wanted to talk about moving forward here, because you had announced at the end of last year one of the new things you're going to be doing is a service you want to be offering when it comes to branding for your clients. We're going to get into that. But also you've made some news already this year about another aspect you want to do, which is your own magazine. So I want to talk about how you make the decisions, because I think a lot of people, Melissa, as they're thinking about their year, there may be some things, of course, they want to continue to do that they've been doing, but also they want to try something new. How did you balance that? Because you also gave up some things as you were going into this year. How did you make that decision, what did you wanted to add and what you wanted to subtract?
You know, well, you're on a roll today, Cyrus. This is a good question.
I know,
too.
right?
Or you think?
If I must say so myself, since you're not going to be nice to me, I have to be nice to myself.
You know what? You know, when you are on this entrepreneurial journey, one of the biggest things, and I learned this first of all during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, because my business looked the way that I thought it was supposed to look, but then the pandemic hit and everything changed. What I learned, I had to be willing to accept when it was time to let something go and be willing to move forward in something new and exciting and something that you're supposed to be, and that's how your business will grow. So first of all, I had to be open to do that. And so once you're open to do that, things come to you. And that's how it has evolved. You mentioned the dream boxes. The dream boxes came about. You mentioned the podcast. The podcast is something I'm so proud of because it gives women an opportunity to share their journey, and we need that. We need to hear other people's story in order to move in our own story. So as it continues to grow at the end of last year, the branding experience, that's something that I've been excited about and had in the back of my mind for a long time. We started talking about that. So it's continuing to grow. But one of the biggest things, Cyrus, is magazine. And the reason the magazine is so important and books are so important because it gives you something in your hand. You can read about others' journeys and what steps they took to move forward. It's all part of Dream by Design because it takes all of that. It takes dreaming it takes knowing what you want and being willing to create the life you want and deserve. And that's what Dream by Design stands for. And each of the components of our business leads itself to that.
Yeah. It's such a great thing, and I think that is the big thing for a lot of people to be able to know. You have also, of course, it's been interesting watching you, especially the past couple of years, Melissa, because a lot of us have gotten to see, of course, what you do online, but you've been doing a lot offline as well. You know, the first in-person event I was able to attend of yours, of course, was a conference. You've been able to do things where you're able to share some of your other products and services. What has that been like for you to build this dual audience as you're growing your business, both for people you have not met online around the world, but also those in your own area that you're building this rapport with as well?
You know, it's always good to be able to reach people worldwide. When I discovered that was something that we could do, that was exciting and fulfilling to me. But it's also great to be hand in hand. The person, the way I started long before I was public with my motivation is I would see a woman in the bathroom that looked like she was down, and I could just reach out and touch her and talk to her and motivate her and inspire her in that moment. And I believe that's what happens when you're able to connect in an in-person event just in your area so that you can connect with people one-on-one and make that connection with them and say something or evoke something and develop a relationship in that space. So that's exciting to me to be able to do both of those things. Recently, we hosted an event for our audience here, our customers, people who have been supporting our business for a long time. And it was just wonderful to see people walk in that we haven't seen in person in a really long time. So that made that connection. You were able to feel those emotions that only an in-person event could do. So that's been exciting to be able to do them both.
Yeah. Such a great thing. So for yourself then, as you're kind of moving forward, again, you mentioned the radio show. You recently celebrated a milestone, 50 episodes. Talk to us about that. I mean, that's almost a whole year of content because it is a weekly show. You debut new episodes every Wednesday now for this third season. Talk to us about what that's been like for you now to have almost a year's content that you've been able to produce through this podcast.
You know what? That is just blows my mind. And I know you remember the idea when we first started the podcast. I never dreamed that it would go beyond that season. That each episode just fulfills me so much. And when you sent me that, it was 50. I was like, 50 episodes? That can't be true. And then I started looking back to how long we've been doing it and how many people we've inspired. That is so amazing. And I love a lot of the things that I do. But that's one of the things I love the most, because I get to talk to all these women, 50 episodes. So I've got to hear so many stories and journeys and what women had to push through in their journeys to just stay the course, you know. So that's so fulfilling, and that's beyond what anything that I could dream. And you hear me say all the time, thank God he can dream for me bigger than I could dream for myself, because that right there is a prime example of something I never thought I would be doing.
Yeah. We have heard the saying, Melissa, do it afraid. And I think that sounds great. But what does that mean to you when you think about your own journey, you think about what you do, and you think about those words, do it afraid? What does that mean to you, and how do you embrace that as you kind of move from day to day in your business?
Wow. You know, even when you say it, Cyrus, when you say do it afraid, I can feel it in my gut. I can feel it in my belly, because every single step that I've taken, whether it's the step that took me forward or it was the step that took me 2 steps backwards, every single move in my journey, I've had to move in fear. I've had to move in unknown. I've had to move outside of my comfort zone, because if I stayed inside of my comfort zone, I would be doing none of what I'm doing. You know, I grew up in a small town here in Mississippi. My mother was a single parent. She's still with us today, thank God Almighty, at 88 years old. But we lived in a inner city. We didn't see people like me that was running businesses. None of this was familiar to me. So I've had to move in afraid. But what I found, the key to being able to move is just that, move. Sometimes if you keep moving, you're going to see success. You're going to make some of your dreams happen. You're going to keep opening doors that you never saw possible because you kept moving. If you let that fear take over your mind and your thoughts, then your body and your actions will follow. That's why I always say everything starts in your mind. By in your mind, I mean in your heart. It's what you focus on. It's what you will have. And that's how you're able to move even in fear. I'm moving in fear right now, but I'm getting up every day and moving. And that's why it doesn't stop me. It pushes me.
Love that. So for yourself then, and you kind of think about it, giving advice for others, I think, you know, one of the big things we hear, of course, is the importance of practicing what we preach. How do you apply that, Melissa, when it comes to thinking about the way you choose to live, but also the way you want to inspire others? What do you want people to know about the importance of, for one, being true to yourself, but not being afraid to pour into others along the way?
You know, that's so huge, Cyrus, and that's so often where we fall, and that's why it's so important to me, the Dream by Design podcast, the Imagine the Possibilities conference, the magazine that's coming out soon, is to make sure that I share my voice and give others an opportunity to share their voice on how they were able to push forward. Sometimes we as women, we just want to look like we got it all together and we achieve these things easily, and we don't want to share that struggle, that stuff we had to push through. And I think that's, to me, that's the biggest reward. It's inspiring someone else, opening up that journal, open up that stuff that you've been holding close to help someone else be able to take a step, be able to move, and to achieve their dreams. So everything that we do under Dream by Design is with that motive. It's to not only share what we go through, because we're not perfect, but we also, and you'll hear me talk every time I speak, I try to talk personal and share personal experiences, because that's how we all grow. It's how to see someone else push through stuff that we're going through ourselves, so that we can see that, you know what, if you just keep pushing through it, keep taking those moves, you will get there.
Such a great point, and such a great conversation with you, Melissa. And as we've mentioned, you have some big things that are coming up. Let's kind of break them down. You mentioned, of course, the branding experience. For those who are just finding out about that, talk to them about what that is.
You know, one of the things when building a brand, and we're doing a whole lot of things, if your brand is looking different every time you post, every time you're on one platform and this platform, when you show up, everything is looking different. Your target audience and the people that you're trying to reach simply doesn't recognize you. So what we've come up with is a branding experience that will help unify your brand and help it become recognizable across all channels. put together several different tiers that we can offer different services, and then, of course, the main experience that will help you do that, whether this is visual identity, this is your brand logo, your colors, your what you look like when you show up, your message. It's really the story of your brand, and you want people to be able to recognize it wherever it shows.
And you've also added another component this year as well, Melissa, being able to help people put their best self forward online and virtually through media kits. Talk to us about that, and for those who are maybe wondering, is that something I need? Who would you say is the ideal client or customer for that, and what is the purpose that it kind of feels for them?
Okay, the media kit is for any business owner, entrepreneur, media personality, author, anyone who has a business. When people talk about, I do a whole lot of things, that really doesn't help someone who's looking for you, right? So if you have one place that showcases your visual identity, of course, and your message, who you are, it's just in one place. It's a summary. It's a summary of what you do in that one place. So when they ask for it, you can shoot over this one sheet. It's the one sheet, and it introduces yourself to people. It gives your contact information, and it breaks it all down. I was recently in a meeting where someone could not explain what they did because they do so much. The media kit helps break that down, and you can shoot that over and then schedule something to talk further. But first of all, they get an introduction to who you are and your representation.
Well, that brings up an interesting point, and you and I had a brief conversation about this, but I want to share this for our audience because I think this is a really curious thing for them to think about. I recently took advantage of Melissa's service, and she was actually nice to me. So I definitely encourage you guys to get yours. I guess with the business stuff, she's nice. I guess it's just being personal. She's not being nice. I don't know. You have to ask her. But one thing you did, Melissa, is you actually created your own media kit. So I wanted to ask you this question because this is a conundrum for a lot of entrepreneurs because of what you just said. They do so much. So I guess my question is, you almost seem like you have to give a homework assignment to the client to say, you need to be clear about what you actually do. How difficult was that for you? Because you do a whole lot. How difficult was it for you to put together your own media kit?
Well, this is good. One of the things that helped me was when I looked at my core products that I wanted to offer, because we do a whole lot. If we put everything on one page, what we do would confuse the audience, right? So I just took everything that I do and what I wanted to showcase, but I also just listed the services of my core services. And this took me a really long time, and with the help of a great coach and mentor, I'm able to put together those core items. Not all 25, 50 things that you offer do you want to include there, but you want to put together those core items. Those are the places that you want people to attract. Also, do speaking engagements. So I wanted to include some of my topics that I speak on for those people who are looking for someone to speak at their event so that they can know that I can do that too. So it's very simple. It's your bullet points, focus on your core products and what you want people to know about yourself, and that's your media kit. And make sure you have good contact information where if they wanted to go and book some time with you, it's a clear link that you can give them that they can go and do that.
Love that. A great thing for sure. And then as we both mentioned, you also have the magazine that's coming later. But a lot of things you are able to offer now, Melissa, that can help people kind of jumpstart their year to get them off in the right direction. And you also do consulting as well to kind of be able to help them with that too. Again, everyone, award-winning event planner as well as entrepreneur and author Melissa Banks has been our guest. I don't know about you guys. I think she was very nice, actually. She was very gracious, so maybe she just was pulling my leg. I don't know. But, Melissa, it's always great to be able to talk with you and to be able to share your message. You are so inspiring, whether you choose to be nice or not. You're so inspiring and encouraging, and I'm so glad to call you not only a friend but also a colleague as well. How can our listeners stay connected with you?
You know what? I'm always nice. So, of course, he's just joking. But anyway, thank you guys for this opportunity. But, it's simple. Go to themelissabanks.com and click on the link, and you can schedule some time with us. You can get your media kit. You can even listen to some of the episodes of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, the podcast. You can order your book. Everything is right there in one place, and that's themelissabanks.com.
Love it. Melissa, always a pleasure. I will not share the screenshot of you telling me then that you're leaving nice in 2023 because I'm not that type of person. But she did tell me that, y'all. That's what she told me. But maybe she was joking. Melissa, always a pleasure. Looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you so much.
More than welcome. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.